Well guys, it looks like one of the most fun sports cars of all time in the world of EVs and hybrids might stay true to itself. Well, actually, kind of. Before we get started, real quick, this video is sponsored by my friends over at HP Tuners. If you don't know, HP Tuners is an incredibly user-friendly tuning software and data logging software I've been using for years. I typically use it on my Ford products, but you can use it on all sorts of different platforms. But I think the most exciting development of HP Tuners lately is the brand spanking new MPVI-4, the most advanced OBD interface out there. Compared to its predecessor, the MPVI-3, which was a fantastic device, the MPVI-4 is an absolute beast. It's got 30 times more memory than the MPVI-3, has more processing power, and helps you tune all the toys in the garage. Whether you're an enthusiast, a racer, or a professional tuner, the MPVI-4 gives you all the tools you need to make adjustments and get the job done on the fly. So make sure to check out HP Tuners on their website in the description below and let them know that I sent you. Really helps me out, and HP Tuners is a huge supporter of the channel, so huge thanks to them once again for helping me make things happen. Thank you so much for listening, and on to the video. Ah yes, the most talked about sports car of all time, the Mazda Miata. Whatever motorsport you wanted to do, or whatever back road you wanted to drive on, the answer was always Miata. 50-50 weight distribution, momentum based, so you had to work for it, and on a curvy back road or a track, it's hard to find a better, fun, per dollar car that's ever existed. Slow in a straight line? Yeah, definitely. But incredible everywhere else? Yes. The legacy of the Mazda Miata has kept Mazda relevant in the performance car industry, but mostly because we don't have rotary engines anymore. Sadly. The FD RX-7 and the RX-8 with the Miata was peak Mazda performance, and Mazda Speed was never scared to experiment. You had things like the Mazda 323, the Mazda Speed Protege, and the Mazda Speed 3. There was quite a bit of variety in their performance car line, but the Mazda Miata is the tried and true last man standing. Honestly, for good reason. For the most part, fun, reliable, easy to drive, manual transmission, and for its price point, other than the GR86 or the BRZ, it's kinda hard to beat the driver feel of a Miata. And they are insanely cheap to maintain. In fact, CarBuzz claimed that they were cheaper to maintain than a Toyota Camry. Pretty wild stuff. Well, back at my first SEMA, I saw the ND Miata for the very first time. I thought it looked incredible. Out of this world, honestly, and nothing like its predecessor, the NC Miata. And they kind of made it a little bit more masculine, which I thought was the best thing they ever could have done for the car. We all knew that Miatas drove well, but they didn't have like a mean masculine appearance, and the ND kind of solved that. It wasn't the hairdresser's car anymore in comparison, but you know, we all still love the flip up secretly. And a little bit later, they released the RF, which I thought looked stunning. It's very hard to make a hardtop or a Targa convertible top look pretty good. I mean, convertible tops in general usually look terrible, i.e. the 350Z convertible. Such a weird proportionate thing. The ND Miata was a really long time ago. It's been an incredible run, and it's still being sold to this day. I think Mazda fans have been itching for something new. Look, we've talked about the Mazda RX-9 ad nauseum, but mostly because Mazda keeps teasing us with all these concept cars with rotary generators or even a legitimate rotary engine in one of them. And it's all to gauge interest to see if it's even worth their time. And I think it's working. If you were to take a huge development budget and you were to bet the farm on one performance car at Mazda, the answer is obviously the Miata. And that's what Mazda's doing. Recently confirmed, they are now currently working on the quote-unquote NE Miata. But the next generation Miata, or the NE Miata, kind of has a strange problem. In the world of EVs being a dominant force, and thankfully, in my opinion, being a little pulled back for hybrids, if you had to ask me between EVs and hybrids, I'm team hybrid, so I'm a little bit biased here. I like my good old combustion motor still existing, you know what I mean? But the pure driving experience of a simple combustion motor with a simple manual transmission might be a thing of the past if things don't work out. I'm not trying to sound doom and gloom here because it's actually pretty promising what we're hearing so far if there has to be compromises. I also need to mention that the ND Miata was so good that it's almost head scratching for Mazda engineers probably where to go next. It's like the R35 GTR. The car worked, it was reliable, it was stupid fast, and a great formula, and that's why they built it forever. Hey, did you hear about the Nissan GTR? It's finally discontinued. Oh, I was under the impression they were developing an R36 Nissan GTR since it's been like 17 years since the R35 was unveiled. Yeah, well, I don't know if that's gonna happen. Especially since the guy who unveiled the car fled in a music box on a container ship. True story. Like we've talked about before with things like the R36 GTR, where do you go from here with the ND Miata and still deliver what enthusiasts want or are impressed by? However, technology has gotten a lot better. The NE Miata will hopefully, after all these years, handle better than the ND Miata, but they have to play with the idea of not putting too much tech in it. We've seen this time and time again. When you overcomplicate things, it ruins the formula. And the good thing is, Mazda is really thinking about this time. We've seen what other car companies have done and said, let's take a step back and not jump straight into the deep end and just go full electric. Because I think that's what everybody was scared of. And also when you put too much tech in a car, the car gets too expensive in a world of overpriced cars in general. Why would somebody go buy the novel, fun toy of a car that is an overpriced Miata, right? So according to Car and Driver, Mazda is currently working on the NE Miata, but they haven't locked in their strategy yet. And there's a big emphasis on Mazda to use synthetic fuels, which is in a perfect world a great idea. But to me right now, it's kind of a dream. I don't really know if that's gonna happen because, rightly pointed out, synthetic fuels are incredibly hard to come by. Shoot, even Porsche developed synthetic fuels themselves, but since that initial buzz, they haven't really talked about it too much. It's incredibly expensive and there's no infrastructure for it. It's very much like hydrogen, right? Oh, hydrogen, like cool, there's no emissions coming out of it, which in theory sounds amazing, but there's nowhere to get hydrogen. Whenever some of my peers review hydrogen cars, they get stranded almost every time, or almost get stranded, because there's nowhere to get hydrogen. It's hard enough finding E85 where I'm from. And according to Mazda's head of design in Europe, they said, quote, the MX-5 stands above all for fun, lightweight, and affordability. If any of those three aspects are missing, it's not an MX-5. That's what we're talking about. We don't need 6,000 pounds Miatas with batteries in them. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Just like this huge Miata, like with just a ridiculous thing of batteries in it. Like, stop. Just don't even think about it. Don't even consider it, please. And then just like every other car, the company would take 100 steps back and be like, well, no, the car, it still handles well, even though it's 7,000 pounds. And since they are trying to lean a little bit into synthetic fuels, they do have to have the probability, or that variable, that it might not work out. So the other option that they've kind of played around with is doing a mild hybrid setup. Well, with my lizard brain, I'm gonna explain it to you in the most simple terms possible. Basically, it would use some electrification, but you couldn't drive the car solely on the electrification. That's kind of the goal they want to do. Give the car a little bit of a push and give it better mileage, but that's it. Which, if you have to compromise, it's definitely one of the better options here. I literally think all hope was gone if Mazda made a 100% EV Miata. It's like, okay, boys, we're wrapping it up. Modern cars are not for us, period. That's it. If the holy grail of combustion fun is gone, then we're cooked, dude. With EVs, we'd all be like, dude, I'm tired of this, grandpa. I actually have a lot of faith in Mazda to find the equal medium in this situation. They've even tried to improve the Miata in very unorthodox ways over the years to make it a more pure driving experience. In fact, Motor One just released an article all about the time they put a V6 into a Miata. But just for the sake of it sitting a little too high, and also with the hood being so tall, they literally were just like, nah, it's too ugly. we can't release this. That's an oversimplified version of the story, but long story short, they're like, you know what? It just doesn't feel like a Miata, so we're gonna keep it the way it is. And sometimes in life, that is the best thing to do. Familiar works. People don't like change. We have found that out a lot lately. Mazda has kept the formula that has worked and sold well. And sometimes that is the best strategy. Probably the kings of with their sports car, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I hope that's gonna be the majority of the thinking when it comes to the NE Miata. Like many of my kind of update videos, there's quite a bit of speculation here, just a little sprinkle, right, of speculation, full transparency. However, so far, sounds pretty promising. Man, it's good to have some good news in the sports car industry, isn't it? Man, that new Audi looks incredible, but it's over 5,000 pounds. Why? What do you guys think about the next Miata generation? Are you itching for the next one, or would you even care if they just made the ND Miata forever? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, last video, highly recommend you go check it out. It is probably the most old school feeling ThatDudeinBlue video I've made in years. Basically, it's a POV going to a no prep race with some good friends of mine, and it's just good vibes, good racing, and a good time. I'm gonna be focusing on doing a lot more subculture videos this year as well, in addition to my news story videos, because I just get a lot of joy out of making them. Appreciate every single one of you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.